Welcome to FedScoop TV. I'm Whitney Wyckoff. Joining me at the Data Innovation Summit 2015 is Richard Young. He's the Chief Information Officer of the Foreign Agriculture Service at USDA. Thank you for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Now, there's a lot of buzzwords floating around today. Open data, big data, transparency, open government, enterprise agility, among many, many others. My question is, where is the real movement or progress taking place today? And which one of these focus areas is really driving activity within agencies?
Okay, well, I would love to say all of them, but since I'm forced to narrow it down, I would say more about open transparency, right?
Okay.
There's a lot of push for us to make sure that, especially in IT, because of the budget and the spend that we're doing on IT, we have a lot of reporting that we need to do in compliance with OMB, but also we're doing it amongst our stakeholders as well, right? So within the agency, the stakeholders want to understand where my IT dollars being spent and how this is being driven and these decisions are being made. So we definitely have to set up the right governance so that the stakeholders can participate in that. And also looking at where we're going to invest our new dollars, right? So I'm constantly involved in how we're going to invest these new dollars. We understand we have a limited budget, so we need to ensure that these dollars are maximized and we maximize our ROI, right? So I would say that the transparency, not only internal to the agency, but also external. And I think the public want to know as well, right? And they have the right to know. I mean, it's taxpayer dollars, so I'm sure that they are also involved, and they're big stakeholders as well, that where are we spending these dollars for IT when we're spending the 80 to 90 billion on IT a year, right? So I would say more about open and transparency.
Oh, great, great. Now, data innovation in government is as much about a culture change as it is about just straight technology. Where is government today in terms of that cultural and attitude change that's necessary to move to an open data by default approach to data innovation? Okay.
Well, in my opinion, I think we're still a little behind in that, right? And I say that because to really be open means to be vulnerable. Sure. And you have to be able to admit to your mistakes. You have to be able to be transparent and show those mistakes. I think that we haven't created that environment where it's okay to make mistakes in government and IT. As we can see, once you make a little mistake, it turns out to be the biggest thing on the news, and that becomes a focus tension, right?
Sure.
so just that culture alone that we have of mistake becomes magnified, I think that prevents you to be open. It's almost like me being vulnerable and telling you some of the things in my life. For me to be open, I need to know that you're not going to judge me by those things that I'm telling you. But if I feel like I'm going to be judged and I'm going to be ridiculed, I'm not going to give it to you. So I think to really make that culture change, we have to stop ridiculing when a person makes mistakes and use those mistakes as learning a lesson. And I don't think the culture has reached there yet.
Interesting, interesting. Now, how do you see the worlds of open data, big data analytics, and mobile coming together? And what are the potential impacts for government services and interagency collaboration?
Oh, I think we have to collaborate. I mean, there's so much data, so much information flowing now. And in my agency, what I do, because I'm Foreign Agriculture Service, I'm not only just collaborating with our government, Department of State, and the local government, I'm interacting with foreign government as well. Because we have foreign officers in each one of these countries, 167 countries that we do agriculture trade with. So with that being said, I mean, it's imperative that we collaborate. But it's even more imperative that we collaborate here in the United States because one, is going to help us be more efficient, more have more agility against any type of cyber attacks or anything that's going on. And I think that is necessary. And the culture is getting there from that perspective because it's always working together. And I think because of the limited budget and everything else, I have to collaborate with my stakeholders and collaborate with the people within my agencies as we do more department-wide initiatives. In order for me to be successful with those, I can't just use money or anything to influence it. I have to use collaboration and my ability to work together with CIOs across USDA. So I think it's very important.
Interesting, interesting. Now, looking ahead, considering everything we've talked about, what are the implications for the next generation of federal IT workers? What skill sets and expertise will you be looking for going ahead?
I think the main skill sets to look ahead as we move forward would be someone that has the ability to adapt very quickly.
Okay.
Someone who's not afraid of making changes and willing to learn a little bit as well. And because I say that because the generation coming in is definitely different from my generation that's currently here. However, we still can learn from each other. It still takes all of us to work this IT thing, right? Because we are living in the IT evolution, we're creating this thing. And who knows where it's going to go, how it's going to turn out before we move on to probably robotics and all these other things after IT. But right now we're creating this, so we have to work together to create it. My generation have some of the leadership and some of the past experience been there. The new generation have some of the innovation, not afraid to take those chances, which we need in IT. And so I'm looking for that person to come in and say, okay, I know a lot, but I don't know it all, and I'm willing to come in and fill that gap so that I can either manage IT or really lead IT, because that's what we need more in IT, is the leadership in IT, not just the people who can build it. We have plenty of the technical people that can get there and program it, but how do you build it and bridge that gap between the stakeholders who have the money and the technology person who have the ambition, and how do you bring that together to develop the best product for the end users? So.
Great, interesting. Well, interesting things to think about. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, I'm glad to be here. It was a pleasure.
Great, great. I'm Whitney Wyckoff, and you're watching FedScoop TV.